The alien fleet moved like a storm through the black ocean of space. Their warships shined with silver light, sharp and fast, shaped like blades ready to cut. They had fought many battles, crushed many worlds, and believed nothing could stop them. On this day they gathered near a golden star, their massive fleet waiting for the enemy. That enemy was a single human warship. It appeared from the edge of the system, slow and heavy, like a drifting mountain of steel. Its engines glowed faint orange, not the bright blue flames of alien ships. Its hull looked old, covered with thick armor plates, and it carried no beauty, no sleek design, only bulk. It moved forward slowly, as if even the void of space resisted its weight. The alien commanders laughed. From their flagships they sent mocking signals across the channels. "Earth has sent us a cargo hauler," one sneered. Another chuckled. "Perhaps it is a relic from their museum. Do they expect this to fight?" The soldiers in the alien fleet joined the laughter. Thousands of voices carried the same words. Weak, slow, pathetic. They imagined the human warship crumbling before the first shot. They imagined Earth's shame, watching their ancient machine die in fire. But inside the human ship, there was no answer. The bridge was calm. Human officers sat at their stations, hands steady, eyes fixed on their screens. No one replied to the insults. No one spoke of fear. The captain, an older man with a scar across his face, stood in silence. He watched the alien fleet form its circle around them, closing the trap. His crew waited for his command, but he gave none. Not yet. The silence only angered the aliens more. "Are they deaf, or simply cowards?" an alien commander shouted. He ordered his ships to fire, warning. Shots. Blue beams of energy cut through space and exploded near the human vessel, shaking its shields. Still, the warship did not fire back. It continued forward, slow and steady, like a giant beast too tired to fight. More laughter filled the channels. "Look, they cannot even respond. The humans should surrender before they embarrass themselves further." Yet behind the laughter, some voices grew uneasy. Scanners on the alien ships reported strange energy spikes inside the human vessel. At first, the commanders ignored them, believing it was only the strain of an old engine. But the readings grew, stronger. Something deep inside the human warship was charging, hidden far below its armor. The signals were irregular, hard to identify. Not normal weapons. Not normal power. A young alien officer spoke nervously. "Sir, their core, it does not match human designs we know." His commander silenced him with a laugh. "Do not let fear blind you. It is an old warship, a joke, nothing more." But the young officer's eyes stayed on his screen. He had studied human battles. He had read the history. Many times before, the galaxy mocked Earth. Many times before, humanity hid its true claws, until it was too late. He felt a chill as he whispered to himself, "Something is wrong." On the human bridge, the crew worked quietly. The engineers checked systems, fingers running across glowing panels. Pilots adjusted controls. Weapons officers sat ready, their hands close to the triggers. The captain finally spoke, his voice low and calm. "Not yet. Let them come closer." The warship's lights flickered across its armored skin. What looked like scars or dents began to shift. Panels slowly unlocked, like eyes opening in the dark. From the outside, it still seemed slow, almost lifeless. But within, something dangerous was waking. The aliens saw nothing. They were blind with arrogance. They remembered every time Earth was underestimated, but they did not believe it could happen again. To them, this was already victory. "One alien," Commander declared proudly. "Record this. Let the galaxy see how weak the humans are when they face true fleets of power." His crew cheered. His ships tightened their circle, ready to strike the final blow. Still, the human vessel did not fire. The tension grew heavy. The silence stretched longer. Every second the aliens mocked. Every second they closed in was another second closer to something they could not yet see. And then, The captain smiled. The alien fleet grew restless as the human warship continued its slow advance. What should have been easy victory now felt strange. The silence from the humans was unnatural. Most enemies begged for mercy when trapped, or shouted threats of revenge. But the humans said nothing, not a word. "Why do they not answer?" muttered one alien commander. His eyes narrowed as he studied the thick hull of the ship on his screen. It looked like a fortress drifting through space, its armored plates dull and scarred. To him, it seemed nothing more than outdated junk. Yet something inside told him not to relax. Another commander laughed loudly, trying to chase away the unease. "Because they are already broken. Look at them, crawling forward, like wounded beasts. A single blast will tear them apart." His fleet cheered, eager to fire, but not all were so confident. The strange energy readings continued to rise. Sensors showed irregular pulses, almost like a heartbeat. Engineers on the alien side frowned over their consoles. They compared data, trying to match it with known weapons or engines. Nothing matched. It was as if the warship carried something hidden, something never before seen in the galaxy. Inside the human vessel, the crew remained silent. They sat in perfect discipline, each officer fixed on their task. The hum of the engines was steady. The air was calm, almost too calm for the moment before battle. One young ensign whispered, "Captain, the aliens are tightening their circle. They will fire soon." The captain did not move his eyes from the screen. His voice was steady, almost cold. "Let them. Every second they waste is ours to use." The ensign swallowed and nodded. He did not understand everything, but he trusted his captain. The humans aboard knew something the galaxy did not. Outside, the alien fleet began maneuvers. Ships spread wider, forming a ring of firepower. Bright weapon ports glowed as they prepared to unleash destruction. Their laughter turned to cruel songs over the comms, mocking Earth, mocking the warship that dared to stand against them. Then came the first strike. A flash of blue ripped across the void, smashing into the shields of the human warship. The blast shook the vessel, but it held. Sparks flew across the bridge, but the crew did not panic. They adjusted controls, reinforced shields, and returned to silence. The aliens cheered. "See, their ship shakes already. More fire. Burn them until nothing remains." Wave after wave of energy beams slammed into the human warship. Explosions lit its surface, leaving scorch marks across the armor. To outside eyes, it looked like the vessel was breaking apart, and yet, it did not fall. The armor held. The shields held. Slowly, too slowly for the aliens to notice, new shapes began to appear along the hull. Panels that seemed useless shifted, slightly. Hidden lines glowed faintly with orange light, but the aliens were too busy celebrating to see it. One commander smirked. "Record every moment. The galaxy will remember this as the day humanity was humbled." Another leaned back in, his chair sipping from a crystal cup. A fitting lesson. They should have stayed on their little world. Yet a single officer on the alien flagship, a veteran of past wars, leaned forward with unease. He had seen humans before. He had fought them in smaller battles, and he remembered. Humanity was never what they seemed. They looked fragile, yet fought like demons. They looked weak, yet turned weakness into weapons. He whispered to himself, "Why are they still so calm?" His words were lost in the noise of victory chants. Back on the human ship, the captain finally gave a new order. His voice was firm, quiet, but filled with steel. "Arm the hidden batteries." The bridge crew moved without hesitation. Across the warship, deep within the armored belly, ancient machines awoke. Systems long dormant came to life. Massive reactors pumped power into hidden circuits. Energy hummed like thunder through the walls. Lights flickered on the bridge as reserves shifted. Panels that had looked like old armor were now sliding open, revealing enormous weapon mounts. Each one pulsed with energy, brighter and brighter. The humans were still silent. Not a single taunt. Not a single boast. Only readiness. The alien fleet's laughter began to fade. Their sensors screamed warnings. The energy inside the human ship spiked higher, impossible to explain. "What is this?" cried an alien engineer. "That level of power, no warship can hold it." But it was already too late. The captain leaned forward, his scar catching the glow of the screens. His voice was cold, carrying across the ship. "Let them see." The alien fleet circled tighter, their weapons glowing brighter with each strike. Explosions rolled across the armored skin of the human warship. To the galaxy watching, it looked like the end. Commentators in far systems already declared the humans defeated. The so-called defenders of Earth would soon be drifting ruins in the star's shadow. But then something strange happened. The human ship slowed even more, almost to a stop. The alien commanders laughed, thinking its engines had failed. "It cannot move anymore," one of them shouted proudly. "One more volley, and we will crush it." Yet the scans told a different story. Energy levels were climbing beyond anything the aliens had ever measured. The young officer who had doubted before now shouted in panic, "Captain, their core, it's not shutting down, it's building up. It's a weapon," the alien commander snarled. "Impossible, no ship of that size can hold such power." And then, the warship opened its eyes. Panels along its sides split apart, revealing massive hidden ports. At first, the aliens thought they were engines. Then the glow built stronger, brighter, hotter, until it blinded their scanners. Huge cannons extended from the hull, their barrels the length of city streets glowing with orange fire. Smaller turrets, once hidden under layers of armor, now rotated into position. The laughter of the alien fleet died in their throats. On the human bridge, the captain stood tall. His voice broke the silence of hours. "Weapons online. Lock primary target." The crew responded at once. Targeting systems spun into motion, locking onto the largest alien flagship. The ship's energy core roared like a beast. In the alien fleet, panic spread. "What is this? They hid their weapons," one shouted. "That cannot be a transport, it's a fortress." The human captain spoke again, his voice calm and cold. "Fire!" The first volley erupted. A beam of orange-white fire burst from the central cannon. It cut through the void like the hand of a god. The alien flagship's shields flared once, then shattered. In less than a heartbeat, the mighty ship, proud and invincible, was split in half. Its burning wreckage spiraled into the dark, its crew never even able to scream. The alien fleet froze. Silence filled their channels. No one laughed now. Shock turned to fear. They scrambled for explanations, but there were none. The slow, heavy human ship had destroyed their strongest vessel with a single shot. Then the smaller turrets awoke. Dozens of glowing barrels tracked targets with inhuman precision. In one synchronized motion, they unleashed fire. Alien cruisers exploded one after another, ripped apart in storms of energy. Their formations collapsed. Their proud circle around the human warship turned into chaos. The veteran alien officer, the one who had warned of human trickery, whispered hoarsely, "I told you, they are never weak. They only wait." But his commander was too shocked to reply. His eyes were wide, his pride broken. The humans had turned the battlefield upside down. On the human bridge there was no cheering. The crew remained calm, their hands steady as the ship roared with fire. Every strike was deliberate, every volley was exact. This was no madness. This was control. The captain gave another command. "Rotate secondary batteries, focus on the destroyers." Obediently, the great ship turned slightly, its turrets following. Within seconds, 3 alien destroyers were erased, their wrecks tumbling into each other. The aliens fired back desperately, beams of blue stabbing against the human shields. But the warship's defenses held strong, glowing bright with each hit, then recovering instantly. The aliens began to shout in fear over the comms. "It cannot be. That ship should not exist. Pull back before it kills us all." But retreat was not so simple. The human warship was slow, yes, but its weapons reached far. Every ship that turned to flee was marked, locked, and destroyed before it could escape. The galaxy, watching through hidden eyes and distant sensors, trembled. The humans had done it again. They had taken weakness, slowness, bulk, silence, and turned it into a weapon of terror. The alien commanders argued in panic. "Regroup, surround it again," one cried. Another shouted, "No, fall back, it is a trap." Their orders collided, their fleets broke apart, and the once proud unity of their armada crumbled into chaos. Meanwhile, the human warship moved, forward steady and unstoppable, like a mountain crushing everything in its path. Its cannons glowed brighter with each strike, as if the ship itself fed on the fear of its enemies. Finally, the captain's eyes hardened. He gave his last order of the battle: full barrage. Leave none standing. The warship obeyed. Every cannon, every turret, every hidden weapon unleashed fire at once. The sky itself seemed to burn as beams of orange carved through the void. Alien ships erupted in fireballs one after another, until the battlefield was filled with wreckage and flame. And when the fire ended, only silence remained. The human warship floated among the ruins, its hull scarred but unbroken. Around it, the once mighty alien fleet was nothing more than drifting metal and silence. The galaxy now understood. Earth's warships were never weak. They were traps, built to hide power until the moment of truth. Humanity had taught the galaxy yet another lesson: never laugh at the humans. The battlefield burned. Where moments ago alien ships had filled the void, now only wreckage drifted, glowing with fire. Yet the fight was not over. Dozens of alien warships still surrounded the lone human vessel. Their commanders desperate and enraged. They could not accept what their eyes had seen. A single weak ship had crushed their flagship, shattered their fleet's unity, and turned their laughter into silence. The alien high commander shouted across the fleet's channels, his voice trembling with both anger and fear. "All units attack together. Overload their shields. Do not let the humans humiliate us further." Obeying his order, the alien fleet moved as one, unleashing a storm of fire. Beams of blue and green light cut across the darkness, slamming into the human warship. Explosions rolled across its armor, shaking the hull like thunder. The void lit up with fury. To the galaxy watching, it looked as if no ship could survive such a storm. But inside the human vessel, the crew moved calmly, as if they had expected this moment. The captain stood unmoved, his hands clasped behind his back. "Shields holding?" he asked quietly. "Still strong, sir," the officer replied. "Absorbing their power, redirecting energy to weapons." The captain nodded once. "Then show them." The warship roared to life. Massive side batteries, unfolded fully, glowing brighter than suns. Each cannon fired in perfect rhythm, hurling blasts of orange-white energy into the oncoming wave. Alien cruisers exploded instantly, their shields shattering like glass. Entire wings of fighters vanished in firestorms before they could even fire. The aliens screamed over comms. "Impossible! Their weapons recharge too fast. We cannot pierce their defenses." Panic spread faster than their orders. The human ship advanced slowly, like a wall of steel, crushing everything before it. With every step forward, another enemy ship was erased. Its heavy cannons were terrifying, but it was the smaller weapons that broke the alien spirits. Hundreds of automated turrets tracked targets with merciless accuracy, swatting down fighters, intercepting missiles and slicing through frigates like paper. An alien commander tried to rally his squadron. "Flank them! Strike from the sides!" His ships darted in fast, hoping to find weakness in the warship's rear. But the humans had planned for that too. Hidden ports at the back of the vessel opened, unleashing a storm of mines that ignited with deadly precision. The flankers vanished, in fire before they even reached firing range. On the alien flagship, despair took hold. The high commander gripped his chair, his proud voice breaking. This cannot be one ship. It fights like an entire fleet." And he was right. The galaxy had long believed human warships were slow and outdated. But in truth, humanity had built monsters, vessels designed not to chase enemies but to endure, to wait, and then to crush whole armadas in a single strike. The slower they moved, the more power they held. The warship unleashed another devastating volley. 3 more. Alien destroyers vanished in blinding fire. Inside the human ship, the crew worked with silent precision. They did not cheer. They did not gloat. They only followed orders, each move as cold and exact as the machines around them. The captain gave another command. His voice was calm, steady, without emotion. Target their carriers. End their hope. The forward cannons charged again. Energy, cores glowing like molten suns. With one blast, the nearest alien carrier, filled with thousands of troops, was torn apart, ripped into flaming shards. The shock wave consumed the escorts around it, scattering them into drifting debris. Across, the alien fleet morale collapsed. Pilots screamed for retreat. Officers shouted conflicting orders. Some ships turned to flee, engines blazing. Others fought blindly, hurling weapons in panic. Their once proud armada was now nothing more than chaos. Still, the humans showed no mercy. The warship moved forward steadily, each strike precise, each shot final. Every attempt to run was met with death. Long-range cannons hunted fleeing ships with surgical accuracy, cutting them down before they reached safety. The veteran alien officer, watching from his trembling station, whispered in horror, "This is why they were silent. This is why they waited. They knew." His words faded as another blast tore apart a cruiser before his eyes. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. News drones hidden in the system transmitted every detail across the stars. Billions of beings sat frozen, witnessing the destruction. The story spread instantly. The humans had done it again. They had turned humiliation into terror, weakness into strength. On the human bridge, the captain's eyes never left the battlefield. His face remained cold, but inside, his heart burned with quiet pride. He knew the message they were sending. He knew every empire watching would remember this day. Finally, as the last wave of alien ships broke apart, he spoke again. "Prepare full barrage. End it." The ship responded with a final storm of fire. Beams of energy, missiles, and mines exploded outward, ripping the remnants of the alien fleet into silence. One by one, the enemy ships vanished, until nothing but wreckage remained. The void grew quiet. The battle was over, and at its center, the weak human warship drifted calmly, its weapons cooling, its engines glowing faint orange once more. It looked slow. It looked heavy. It looked exactly as it had when the aliens first mocked it, but now the galaxy knew better. The battlefield was silent. Where a proud alien fleet once filled the system, now only drifting wreckage remained. Broken ships, shattered metal, and fragments glowing faintly in the starlight. The golden sun lit the debris field like a graveyard in space, and at the center of it all floated the human warship. It was scarred. Its armor carried burns, dents, and cracks. Yet it still stood, steady and unbroken, like a survivor that refused to kneel. Its engines glowed faint orange once more, calm and quiet, as if nothing had happened. Across the galaxy, countless eyes watched in silence. From distant outposts to imperial courts, from pirate dens to neutral colonies, the story spread faster than light. The humans had done the impossible again. The weak warship mocked by the galaxy had destroyed an entire fleet. Alone. On the alien homeworld, leaders gathered in emergency meetings. The high commander who had ordered the attack was gone, his flagship torn apart in the first volley. His name became a curse, a warning whispered to children. His arrogance had cost them everything. Some leaders shouted for revenge. "We cannot allow Earth to rise. We must strike harder." Others, their voices quieter but sharper, warned the truth. "We laughed once. If we laugh again, it will be our end." In the shadows of the galaxy, smaller species whispered to one another with hope. For centuries they had lived under the boots of great empires, bullied and conquered. But now they saw the humans, mocked and underestimated, rise to crush those who called them weak. If humanity could stand against such power, maybe others could too. Back aboard the warship, the crew worked in silence, repairing systems, resetting weapons, and recording battle data. They did not celebrate. They did not cheer. For them, victory was not glory. It was survival. One young officer finally broke the silence. "Captain, the galaxy will never see us the same way again." The captain stood at the center of the bridge, his hands behind his back, his scar catching the faint glow of the consoles. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "They were never supposed to see us as weak," he said. "But if they choose to laugh, then we will remind them what it costs." He looked out at the wreckage, at the broken fleet that had thought itself invincible. For a long moment he said nothing more. Then quietly, he gave his final order of the battle. "Send the message." A signal pulsed from the warship carrying across the stars. It was simple, short, and terrifying. "Earth's defenses stand. Mock us again, and you will share their fate." The message spread like fire. Empires paused their wars. Diplomats froze in mid-speech. Pirates canceled raids. The memory of the wreckage, of the fleet torn apart by one ship, filled their minds. They had seen the power of humanity, and it could not be ignored. In the weeks that followed, stories spread faster than the truth. Some said the human warship carried weapons stolen from ancient gods. Others claimed it was not a ship at all, but a living monster forged by Earth. Some whispered of secret fleets, each ship like the one that had destroyed the aliens, hidden, waiting, silent. The truth was simpler. Humanity had built strength into silence. They had turned patience into a weapon, turning weakness into terror. On Earth, the people celebrated quietly. They did not cheer for conquest. They did not dream of empire. They only wanted peace. But they also knew peace had a price, and that price was strength. The warship had paid it, and the galaxy would remember. In time, the wreckage of the battle became a forbidden zone. Scavengers who dared to enter often spoke of haunting silence, of the human ship's shadow still drifting there like a ghost. None stayed long. Fear drove them away. The galaxy learned its lesson. No one mocked the humans openly again. No one called their ships slow or weak. For behind every calm vessel, behind every orange glow, there could be hidden power, waiting to strike. And the